This is what they do. Terrifying.
Well, here's game 3, guys, so let's jump into that right now.
Remember, this is the first year of Gumayusi's LCK play. Someone who was so hyped up because of his brother's history in StarCraft, because of his high rank in Challengers, his ability to insanely solo queue very successfully, right? And on multiple accounts, T1 picked him up early, and a lot of teams were kind of jealous that they got the new prospect. We didn't see him as a mainstay for a long time, but he's kind of been a flex that they've used, and now he's playing in his very first finals. So there's a lot of pressure, and yes, there's no audience, but this is T1 now having to begin a reverse sweep. Imagine the pressure on this young rookie that he has to feel right now going into this game as a hyper carry on the Jinx. It's pretty insane.
Well, we know that Gumayusi, he's kind of got the attitude for it. He actually exudes almost cockiness, right? And overconfidence at times. So hopefully that's not just all an act, right? He comes out here and he plays confidently and he can put on a show. He's had some great stuff, shown us some great stuff in the regular season, but excited to see him here in the finals.
And some interesting choices here. We do have a really nice early pressure coming out from the T1 bot lane due to the leash that was given over to Canyon, meaning that Ghost and Barrow are going to be on the back foot in that lane early on. Khan also pulling away from top side. And really liking the adaptation from Khan here to go for the Conqueror. Really good, obviously, in the short range composition that is available for Damwon Kia. Faker also going for the lethal tempo, which is a pick that, in terms of laning pressure, doesn't amount to as much, and also clearly says T1, they're looking towards the mid to late game.
For sure, and I think their draft really screams that as well, right? And if you could survive through the mid game here, you're going to feel fantastic, because we do have to address Faker, one of his most iconic champions here in the Azir. Been target banned against him for years, 71 games of it. This will be his 72nd here in the LCK. It is insane that, you know, he's a player who's the longest standing LCK player. He's the player who's been on T1 since the beginning. He's looking for his 10th title here on an iconic champion. Gotta love it.
Smite comes down here from Canyon. They saw Owner invading the jungle, and you can see Khan, he's taking a lot of damage up on the top side, so even though it is in their own jungle, he can't necessarily leave with the lane coming in. He would lose a lot of XP. So Owner might actually get away with this. This is one way to punish that Diana early, even though this was seen.
And not only was it seen, but it's also a leash start, right? So you see that the best way of dealing, as you pointed out, with this Diana is trying to invade her early, keep her as from getting that level 6 as long as possible. And I don't think, unfortunately, that Teddy and Guma have been able to find a wave as strong as to also deny this one, because that would really put Canyon's early game basically into the bin. We'll be able to pick that. Yeah, that's a 100% win rate.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of crazy win rates. You know, you think about Def's Jinx and stuff like that. It's like 93%, 92% now. Doesn't get better than 100%, guys. And he's played a decent amount of games on that champion. He even mentioned in his own interview that I think it's like 15-0 in international play. Like, even he knows how good he is on this champion. He's confident to keep that streak going.
Speaking of confidence on champions, you know, a lot of people, as we will see a gank here, I'm going to hold that thought. Canyon rotating down.
And there is vision, and you can see that Canyon just comes in, they easily back away, and especially with Owner here, not going to be able to stick around and do too much, as here's Faker going for the solo kill. Showmaker going to have to flash away, and that is very early on in this game.
Yeah, great start there. As I wanted to mention Kana's Kennen, because we've seen a lot of mixed opinions about Kennen around the world, and obviously here in Korea, a lot of Korean analysts are not a big fan of Kennen right now, but Kana is one of our best. He's 3-0 in his playoffs on the Kennen. It was something they prioritized. He's, you know, basically the direct opposite of Rich. Rich struggled on the Kennen. Rich struggled to win lane on Kennen, was actually falling behind on Kennen in a lot of his games, whereas Kana is winning lane, getting massive advantages, and winning over team fights with teleport flanks, with really nice slicing maelstroms. It's a really strong pick for him that I think that with the call he's built early here, he's going to get a lot of extra gold. Just going to be great for T1's mid to late game.
And it's something that, especially when it comes to those fights that we've seen teams consistently take around that first herald, the power of that cannon flank can set you off on the right foot. And that in of itself is not going to be enough. Even with an early lead in the last game, T1 were not able to maintain that momentum, got run over by Kia's extremely decisive play around the map and the chaos that they introduced overall. But it's still something that I think for T1 you're going to be very happy to find, considering the amount of power that is in this composition. If you do get to the later stages, if you do have some of the items available, right? You're looking at 2 items on Jinx, 2 items on Faker. That's when the comp really comes online. But for Kana, he's level 6, he has a blasting one. He'd be happy to team fight right now.
Yeah. Have this rotation of the top side. Owner just barely out of vision, it seems. They pinged a couple of times at where he could be, right, with that Scuttle Crab coming up here in just a moment, but it seemed like that War was able to see him there, so Showmaker going for a bit of a trade here onto Faker, even without his flash.
Yeah, that's so greedy when they don't have any vision of where Owner is right now. There is a control ward for Faker on the bottom side, so that could have been a very, very deadly trade there to actually go for. Does get away with it, though.
He sees him with the scanner, and yeah, it's going to stop that back. Pretty annoying for Beryl, but he will be okay to back now.
No ward this time, but no 6 for Canyon either. They're going to have to rely on a big push up here, and with the back completing. It's not going to happen. Tense there for a moment.
Taking it easy. No real needs to force anything, especially pre-6. With all summoners available as well, it can also backfire quite aggressively for you. And as you pointed out, limited vision and knowledge that Owner is probably going to be on the spot side of the map based on his pathing thus far. And this is a similar story that we saw in game number 1, where Damwon have kind of given up a lot of the mid lane pressure that they've been utilizing so well over the last couple of months. And early lead for Gumayusi and Carrier in this lane, all going back to those early levels where they were able to take control of the lane and then use their superior range, as well as a lot of early trading on Ghost and Barrel to kind of keep him down.
And it's really interesting that for the first time we're going to see Damwon Kia play so passively around Canyon. In games 1 and 2, he dominated the top side of the map, gave them such an early lead that it was very difficult for Kana to play the game. Khan was just controlling the map, getting a lot of extra power in terms of the split pushing. Now, that can change very quickly now that Canyon has hit 6, and he can obviously become a very big threat to deal with. The first step, I think, is going to be winning this Rift Herald fight, and we'll see a big group up. Looks like all 10 will be going for this one. The Slicing Maelstrom so powerful here.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty huge. We've seen Kana go for kind of an insane flank all the way around the back from the top lane. But look at this, Canyon up towards the top. There is a control ward. Trying to zone Kana off of this for now. As level 6 going to be hit here for Ghost, but not for Gumayusi. And that Fate's Call is huge. And look at this fight that's happening already. But the Slicing Maelstrom going to get that value. They take down Canyon already before the fight even begins. And they say to hell with Ghost level 6, although here comes Showmaker trying to burst him down, and oh man, that might have been a mistake. 2 people getting caught up in here, as Khan is also going to be baited in, and T1 take a massive leap into the lead.
So much control of this fight by T1 here around the Slicing Maelstrom, and you have to realize, as Damwon Kia, when you're trying to collapse onto Owner here, that he has 2 flashes. He's got his Heartbreak, so he gets over the wall. Oh no.
Yeah, Showmaker's dead. You can see he's trying to fight it back, but literally Kana's just waiting here and letting the minions kill him.
There's just so much in this fight that goes well for T1 because Owner is able to get over the wall there, and Damwon Kia overextended to a composition that, even though it hasn't really hit its power spike just yet, has so much threat around these early ultimates.
And the first time I think that we've seen Damwon Kia opt into a fight where it's just off in terms of how they synergize, right? We see Canyon kind of overzealous, try and 1v1 a Viego early on as Diana without any of the items finished as of yet. We have Kana as prior on the roam. Kana was already chunked fairly low. And then also Khan going in here is very over-enthusiastic, right? And I get that with Showmaker coming, you might feel a little bit of confidence, but that's a level 7 Kassadin. He doesn't provide that much, whereas a single kill on for the Viego is already going to be a problem. And then now they're forced to go in, right? The immediate exhaust comes down, and it's over.
Yeah, when you have a Diana ulting for a single solo target who just heartbreakers over the wall, it feels tragic, right? As we watch this once again, Showmaker getting picked. But it feels tragic because you don't get to use any of the power of the combos you do have, right? You don't get to use that with a Renekton. You're not going to be able to follow up with Fate's Call or anything like that, unfortunately, as T1, or rather as Damwon Kia, when you waste your ultimate that early.
Of course, Kana playing into Damwon Kia, rocking the Nuguri Kennen skin, as you might as well. It takes him down. Barrel here, suffering a little bit from Owner and his fantastic start on this Viego so far, which has been key.
And the thing for Damwon Kia now is that you have a composition that, as pointed out earlier, very short range. You're basically reliant on finding fights and actually winning them. There is no just sitting around and waiting to skill. Yes, you have the Kassadin. Yeah, he becomes a big threat when he's level 16. And yeah, his power with Canyon might be okay, but that in of itself is not going to be enough against a comp with as much anti-dive as well as backline peeling potential like T1 has.
Oh boy. Showmaker greeting for the ward, and this is not what you want at this point in time. He has his flash, but he doesn't want to use it. But he has to at the end of the day. Down he goes, and Owner picks up a kill with the Rift Herald. In the mid lane, T1 are just stomping them here.
Canyon's not going to be involved in this fight whatsoever. He so desperately needs gold to come online. Without his Mythic, engaging is going to be such a pain.
Oh boy.
Oh man, Ghost in trouble.
Yeah, he's all alone. The exhaust comes in. He flashes straight into that ultimate. Barrel's doing so much to keep him alive, actually. It's perfect in the attract repel, as Barrel will go off the horse and feel very confident about his survivability. They dash and round that Jinx. Rocket as well as Ghost is moving forward into 3. Damwon looking to turn this around as they get another kill out to Owner as well.
Do not engage into Damwon like this in these skirmishy situations or you'll pay for it. They do get the Rift Herald crash through, but that's all they get, giving a ton of extra gold here over to Damwon Kia. So expertly played.
Kana got a double kill too? What happened?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a replay of that, because that's definitely not supposed to happen. Maybe
Canyon on the top side of the map overextends.
Now I think what happens is, oh no, never mind. I was like, maybe he tried to teleport, and no, they tried to dive the Fed Cannon. Unsurprisingly, it doesn't work out very well.
Under turret, he is able to slicing mails from both of them. This was a huge mistake.
And that's coming from the top side that has been carrying Damwon Kia for the first 2 games. Fortunately for Damwon Kia, T1 in an attempt to try and punish, overextend crucially. Ghost doesn't actually die thanks to a beautiful save that comes out from Barrel with the Attract Repel and Magnet Storm. And now you can see the value that Kalista can have in these extended skirmishes where people aren't actually able to lock her down in the single combo, and a lot of gold going over to Damwon that didn't need to be given.
Yeah, if you end up getting those resets as Owner, it ends up being a completely different story, but they survive with so low health. Still feels very confident to roam through the red side of the jungle here.
Owner with the mobility that the Viego gives him. He's got priority down on the bottom side, and he just walks through. Even though there is a nice amount of defensive vision on the side of Damwon, it's still a pretty huge lead for the side of T1. Yeah, I mean, Kana's just really popping off in this one. You can see he's really feeling the Kennen pick so far.
And Damwon Kia, they don't have a way of actually dealing with a Fed Cannon, right? Every answer they have outside of literally blowing up in one rotation, which to be fair, they can do. Like, they have the CC chain available. But if you don't manage that perfectly, Kana is literally just going to press R, and a cannon this fed with a Riftmaker, Conqueror as well, it's just never going to die.
I mean, he's completed his call. This guy has so much money right now, and that means he can get a fast stopwatch too, which means these upcoming fights, the second Rift Herald fight, if that's where they want to make their stand, is someplace where you might actually have that item. And if they fight the Rift Herald before he goes back to bite, guess what? He's still got a pretty nice advantage. And this is a big problem for a Damwon Kia that, as you mentioned, there's no realistic way to deal with the Kennen as Owner.
Did he not see that ward go down? Oh, he's definitely going to see that one go down. I mean, and he will be able to back away. But, I mean, take a look at what's happening on the map at the same time. The top lane is being zoned away. Khan can't even save his turret here, as everybody on the side of Dalmakia is coming up to the top side, but Khan just gonna die before any of this happens. And yes, they might be able to get owner, but look at that!
He's Viego!
He's Renekton and Viego! He's able to get out of there, and Showmaker just dies in the mid lane. Huge Magnustorm, or rather, the Moonfall is coming down here from Canyon. They're trying to get something back, and yes, they will be able to pick off 2 kills, as the rocket is also not enough.
And this is so massive for Canyon. He's going to get that huge amount of shutdown gold, the gold he so desperately needs. This play is absolutely worth it here. Now they've got a little bit of extra prio around the Rift Herald, but T1 have rotated up. But this is a play that is risky, but at the end of the day, getting that Diana gold is absolutely worth it here.
And while I think that it's nice that there's... for last time the close escape didn't work out, this time it does. The thing that we're seeing now from Dalmakia is even trade, but unlike the last 2 games where they did this, game 2 in particular, where it was just cross-map every single time, they're not really getting the favorable ends of it, right? Like, they're the ones losing turrets. Yeah, they pick up a kill here. I think it is really big, because if someone's gonna carry this game outside of Ghost and Barrel, who are looking like the main source of threat right now for Damwon, getting Canyon fed is a great way to do it. There we see that beautiful Attract Repel with Moonfall combo. The burn of that red buff eventually going to be enough. But with Showmaker also going down, very happy to see this Kassadin pick getting relentlessly bullied, as it should.
I mean, he looked good in game 2, not looking good in game 3. There's no other way to put it. I mean, these are 3 preventable deaths that we have seen from this Kassadin. Maybe a bit of overconfidence, not only in the pick, you know, in the draft, but also in the play. And you can't afford to do that. T1 are a fantastic team, and they will jump on this lead that you have given it to them.
T1 have always been a really strong team when they have an early lead this season, and this is the first of the 3 games where they have a commanding lead, control of all 3 lanes. And yes, you see a little bit of split pushing here for Showmaker, but that means he's not here to defend this.
And you can see the lack of range means that they have no wave clear. They have a Diana. Like, what are you going to do? Khan can't get close to that. And here we go. Just the 2 of them bounced against the wall like stuffed animals. And down they go alongside of the turret. Showmaker's like, well, I guess I'll just farm because T1 are smashing him.
And there's nothing you can do against this. As Dalmakia, you're too far behind to go for straight up 5v5s. You're trying to stall desperately. Showmaker off in the side, doesn't have the teleport available, but even if he did, doesn't even have his mythic finished. And T1, 2 inhibitors, 17 minutes.
Yep. This is a massive lead. A teleport to try to flank.
Yeah, they have Showmaker coming in here, but again, he can't quite jump in there alone, but they're trying to corral them into the river. The chase is on yet again. We've seen this before. And
Faker has flash.
Let's see. Okay, that Everforce is going to land onto Faker. He might be the sacrificial lamb. He's going to try to flash to safety, but this is a Kassadin we're talking about, and there's so many low health bars. As Canyon, he's got the stopwatch, but that might not be enough. His owner is going to be able to take him down, and look at this Renekton. He can't get the kills under the turret. The Jinx lives, and Viego still around.
The bot push is hitting the base as well during this.
Oh man, they're just running through the turret, and they will blow up owner. It's like a freight train right now. They're taking down everything in their path. As Gumayusi might be next. The final kill, Ghost is trying to catch up to him.
He's buying so much time here. And he's going to get away with it, too. There's just nothing he can do.
They're just corralling him around the map.
That's the heal.
We win from the river all the way around, and that is going to be the kill finally coming through, and a massive shutdown into Showmaker's pockets.
It's very unusual to see 2 inhibitors taken this early in the game, because when you do that, you give your opponent a lot of free farm. But the playmaking here from Faker, the shuffle into the huge Emperor's Divide, is something you expect from the Emperor himself, and we see this pulled off here time and time again in this series. Part of why the Azir is a targeted ban against this player so often. The punish does come through, but 2 inhibitors down right now on the map means that T1 have so much vision control, and they've got the strong cannon on the top side too.
The key question is this too early to take down 2 inhibs, right? Because if what you gain on the rest of the map is not enough to offset the amount of gold that's now going to get thrown into the pockets of Dalmakia, Combined with that in of itself, I don't think will be a problem. But combined with the amount of gold that was just given over to Ghost and Showmaker specifically, I think might turn out to be a problem. And I still think that T1 are in a great spot. I think that they have an incredible comp that can siege very well. And they should be fine.
There's a Baron being taken right now. Showmaker runs into a bajillion things here in the replay. And T1 say, fine, enough with the shenanigans. We're going to take the objective, but the slicing Maelstrom gets nobody. It hits nothing. And here comes Damwon. Showmaker is going to be able to get out of there, and Beryl is zoning them. They're just going to turn up to the Baron and try to take it away. They smite it down. As the damage is coming out here, though, Jinx is getting out of control. Super excited as Gumayusi. They're going to take down 3 as the push is looking to come in here. The empowered recall might be the case, but Showmaker's trying to turn it. Can he kill the Jinx? The answer is yes, but it doesn't matter.
Cannon's killing the Nexus. There we go.
T1 is going to take the game.
Look at the push here, and the answer to your question, whether you get 2 inhibitors early matters or not. When you have this much of a lead, you can win a team fight. We are going to have a 21-minute game here for T1. The answer was yes, killing those 2 inhibitors was worth it. As T1's back in this finals now, and with one swift draft decision.